return to the finals and come home with the world title.
Chicago Stadium, home of the three-time defending world champion Chicago Bulls. Tonight, for the first time in '93, a rematch of the two teams who played for the title, the Phoenix Suns and the Bulls. And just prior to this game tonight, good news for Chicago. They learned that Scottie Pippen, who has been out for 10 games, their all-star forward, the all-league defensive player, will in fact start and play in this ball game tonight, despite having a sore foot. So, Hubie Brown, let's go right to that story for the Bulls, who are 5-7. A surprise to everybody that Pippen's coming back. What does it mean to the game and to the Bulls?
Well, first of all, we're happy. Yeah. And fans are happy.
So are our viewers.
And he made the choice this afternoon to play in tonight's game. You're talking 20 points, the #1 assist guy last year, right around 7 a game, also in the top 10 in steals. And you say all defense and all league. So you're talking a complete package. He is the new leader of the Chicago Bulls.
Now, the Bulls, of course, playing with the retired Michael Jordan on the sidelines. The spotlight, with Pippen out and all the other injuries, has fallen to the Croatian sensation, the spider from Split, Toni Kukoc.
Well, we're talking about the player of the year in Europe 3 straight years, Toni Kukoc. He has the big package, but he's learning a lot right now. He's weak defensively, and people are taking advantage of him. The points are there, the rebounding, the assists are sporadic, the shooting is down. Only 45% and only 30% in threes. They thought in 30 minutes a game that the production would be a little bit higher than that.
And it may be with Pippen back. This will probably help him somewhat.
Naturally, and then once they get Cartwright back, along with Scott Williams and Paxson, then you have the complete package here, and they can make a run and be one of the solid teams when we get to playoff time.
When Jordan retired, all the eyes focused on the Phoenix Suns and said last year's runner-up might be this year's champion. They're off to an 8-2 start, but they've had their thunder stolen by the undefeated starts of Seattle and Houston.
Well, it's great for the league, and like Paul Westphal said today, it's keeping our veteran guys, especially Charles, you know, totally focused. And as you can see, they're off and running. The scoring is there, the point differential, the field goal shooting, and the threes. And the addition of A.C. Green was a magic touch by the management of the Phoenix Suns.
Well, it'll be interesting to see this matchup tonight. Only 4 of the Bulls from the championship team of last year will be in uniform tonight. Think of that. They'll play the Phoenix Suns in just a moment. We'll be back after we join Ernie Johnson Jr. in Atlanta.
We wind up the first month of the regular season. The Rockets have been the story in November. Hakeem and company can go 14-0 with a win over the Bucks tonight. The top individual efforts thus far, Patrick Ewing with 44 points against the Cavs. Dennis Rodman had 29 rebounds against Minnesota. John Stockton and Muggsy Bogues have both dished out 19 assists in one game. And Shaq attacked the Nets with 15 blocks 10 days ago. That was the single most dominating performance of the season so far. Along with the double-digit blocks came 24 points, 28 boards, the first triple-double for last year's top rook. Now, how about this year's freshman class? Here's a sampling.
Oh, Hardaway just blows by.
Oh. Coast to coast, Ryder goes up high and comes down hard. What a play!
Now, if you're into late-game heroics, try these buzzer-beating buttes.
Wire for the win. He hits!
About 5 seconds count. Here's where gives attack. Tony, long three.
Yeah, Kukoc with a three!
Here's the ball into Campbell. He hasn't made a shot this week.
Hair-raising stuff, which leads us oh so smoothly to the NBA's hair club. Dennis Rodman began the season with the Demolition Man do, and now it's a total day at the bleach. John Koncak's streak, 13 straight bad hair games, and Christian Laettner, 11 straight bad headband games. And Matt Geiger's just hoping that stuff grows back. The great hairless one played a part in the best play that didn't count. Inbounding to Harold Miner, to Glenn Rice, too smooth, but also too late. And the news tonight, Bill Laimbeer on the verge of retirement. He's been bothered by a bad back. He's in his 14th NBA season, and it's expected that tomorrow he will announce his retirement from the NBA. All that in just 1 month. We'll close the November book with 8 games tonight, back with highlights and bonus coverage at halftime. But straight ahead, we'll send you back to Chicago Stadium. Sir Charles and the Suns square off with the Bulls next on TNT.
Bob Neal and Hubie Brown back at the Madhouse on Madison Street, Chicago Stadium, trying to learn to live without Michael Jordan. They did get good news tonight that Scottie Pippen is coming off the injured list and will start in this ball game. Let's look at the Jeep Eagles starting matchups, and they are interesting matchups, Hubie.
Well, the Grant Barkley, that's normal. Now you'll see the Suns are putting AC Green on Myers, a guard. And then they will put Marley at Pippen at the small forward position. KJ will match up with Armstrong.
Paul Westphal, second season with the Suns. He's won 71% of the games. A very bright young man who played during his career for a short while for Hubie Brown. He still calls him coach when we talk to him. And, of course, Phil Jackson, the coach of the 3-time defending champion Chicago Bulls, who is going to be tested as a coach this year, certainly with all the changes. Only 4 players who are on the championship team are suited up tonight due to either players being waived, cut, and or injured. Ed T. Rush, Ken Maurer, and Derek Stafford are our officials.
Well, you must give the Bulls their due. They've played 9 of their 12 games on the road. They have a 4-5 record. They have been involved in 6 games by 3 points or less. And this is without Pippen, who's back tonight, without Scott Williams, and without John Paxson on the injured list. And then we know that Billy Cartwright is out again this evening for the 3rd game that he's missed because of trouble with his knees.
Will Perdue, the backup center, also out. So we're having to look to see whether they would have to place a screw and a broken finger in his hands. The Phoenix Suns win the tip. Big pass into West from Kevin Johnson. Horace Grant.
In this game tonight, we have 2 teams that really bang the offensive board. In Horace Grant and in Charles Barkley, along with AC Green, we have 3 of the best in the league.
B.J. Armstrong with the penetration and the basket. And B.J. Armstrong opens up scoring, and scoring is something he has to take a bigger part in this year. He's done just that.
Well, he has the tools. You're going to see now another screen and roll. This is the 2nd one in a row. What they do, Phoenix forces you to, are you going to trap Kevin Johnson? Are you going to trap Barkley? If you do, that opens up their 3-point perimeter shooting game.
That time, the penetration from Dan Marley. Knocked out of bounds by the Bulls. 10 on the shot clock. Kevin Johnson learning to live with Charles. They've adjusted together. There's the pick and roll with Kevin and Charles. He is open.
Nice.
At the buzzer, Pippen with the rebound. Armstrong back to Scottie. Nice. Missed the layup. Remember, Pippen has missed 10 games since playing in the first 2. He's a little rusty tonight.
You also have to remember, yesterday was the first day that he worked out, so there is going to be a fatigue factor as we move along.
Marley ties it at 2. Opening moments, quarter number 1. Scottie Pippen talked to me right before the game and said, I don't even know if I can get enough air in my lungs after missing 10 games, but he just wanted to play tonight. B.J. Armstrong is missed from the perimeter.
Pressure is on Chicago to take advantage of all of the open jump shots and the fast breaks. You must score the easy baskets tonight.
Marley and Pete Myers nose to nose down on the baseline. Pete Myers, a very tough defensive player, and Marley is a Hulk himself.
Well, Pete Myers, think about it. He played in Europe for the last 2 years. He had a hernia operation this summer. As he was recuperating, he started to work out with the Bulls on a lark before he went back to Europe. Next thing you know, he finds himself starting for the Chicago Bulls
and replacing Michael Jordan. The personal was on Pete Myers. Barkley backing in on Grant.
Well, this is interesting. Interesting early, Bob. They waited late for that double team. AC stepped out of bounds.
It'll be Chicago Bulls tied at 2. And no question about it, must have given the Bulls a lift seeing Scottie Pippen come back with his sore foot. This is not the surgical ankle that's bothering him. It's the top of his ankle. It was stepped on in practice. That's why he's missed so much time. Stacey King. Turnaround jumper will go down.
Stacey King would just play to his potential. We're talking about a high first-round draft pick when he came out of Oklahoma. He's never been able to hit any form of consistency because year in and year out he shoots under 40%. They need him. He's talented. He has a nice game with his back to the basket.
Marley trying to power inside on the undersized Pete Myers. Dishes to AC Green. Rebound Horace Grant. Already has 2 so far tonight. Pippen kicks it to Myers.
When you play versus Phoenix, you must watch tempo. Tempo is the key. They want the game to be at 115, 120.
King drives, West fouls it.
And even though you're at home, you must say to yourself, you take the break when it's there. When it is not, let us get into our offense so that we get the high percentage shot. You cannot go off and play one-on-one because then as they move along through the 48 minutes, all of a sudden you're getting away from what you do best, and then your low field goal percentage will start to crop up as we continue over the 48 minutes.
Oliver Miller is coming in for West. Oliver Miller, a very improved player, and Paul Westphal told us today that he doesn't want to pump his head up too much. Doesn't want to brag on him too much, but says he's really producing for this team.
Well, think about it. He's playing 25 minutes a game. In the 25 minutes a game, Oliver Miller is first in the league in field goal percentage at 66%. And he's also right there in blocks. He's 16th in blocks in the league. So you're getting big production out of him.
Bulls with the offensive board. They recycle the clock. Leading at 5-2. Pippen on the drive.
Nice. He's so talented. Versatile off the dribble. He'll always take it to the rim, and then he will make the pass. So you just cannot double team him and not worry about your rotations.
Charles Barkley alone for the jumper. He's got 2 of them so far. 3rd rebound for Horace Grant. Make it 4.
Now this is where they miss him, right there. Think about it. They played 10 games without Scottie Pippen. In the middle of the fast break, not only does he beat you down the floor, but he makes the correct pass under pressure.
The Bulls coming off a road trip. The last time these fans saw them, they were booing them. But now a 9-2 lead and cheers from the crowd.
The man on
Front sports page of the Chicago Sun-Times this morning, a full-face shot of Horace Grant with the goggles in your screen, saying, trade me, I want out of here. I want to leave the Bulls. He wants to be a free agent, does not want to sign with the Bulls, says they are mistreating him. He is a very unhappy player. We asked him right before the game just what was his complaint with Chicago.
Well, you know, no gratitude for my hard work. If they really wanted me to stay here, they would have signed me. And now I have to go through a season, you know, really thinking about the contract.
Well, I have nothing to say about the situation, and I'm not going to talk about any contract negotiations or anything regarding Horace Grant.
It's a tense situation. Hubie and I will talk a little bit more about it. Right now it's relieved because the Bulls are up 9-2. Pippen back in the starting lineup. Myers from the baseline. It's 11-2.
Well, as we are moving along, Phoenix 1 for 7 in the early going, and Chicago 5 for 7. And you can see they are really advancing the basketball and getting the numbers on the break.
Barkley with the jam. Good pass inside from Oliver Miller. As big as he is, and as much of a center as he is, he plays like a guard sometimes.
Well, Paul Westphal likes to say that about him. He feels that he's as intelligent as any player that they have on the team. But his biggest asset at 6'9" is that he is a pinpoint passer.
E.J. Armstrong averaging 18.5 points a game this year.
Right now, Phoenix defense very soft. The Bulls are energized because Pippen is here, and they are playing to their maximum.
Kevin Johnson answers.
Everything is still a perimeter jump shot, though. The only time that they've gotten down inside is when they went to Barkley, and I think that they're going to have to do more of that rather than stay in the perimeter game.
Armstrong just blew by, but Miller got a part of it. Once again, the offensive rebound from Stacey King. He has 5 points early. Johnson off balance. Kevin's averaging 23 points a game this year.
Yeah, let's just go back before he picks up the hamstring and the groin problems. He did it for 3 straight years, over 20 points and over 10 assists.
And he's right there this year, 9.3 assists. Myers on the penetration.
Nice. See, they've missed 2 layups, Bob. You tacked on the 2 layups to what they already have. and they would be on verge, you know, of really getting out with a very smart lead.
Look at the ball movement from Barkley to Marley, although he gets off a poor shot. And the Bulls come back, leading at 15-8, 16:33 to go. First quarter, offensive foul. Horace Grant as he levels Kevin Johnson.
Now, you're a coach. Do you yell at Grant? Of course not.
No.
You yell at Pete Myers. Pete Myers never should have delivered that ball to Horace Grant in the middle of the floor with a defender there. The ball, he should have allowed Grant to go through, take the defensive player to the basket, and then come with the outside trailer.
I wouldn't have yelled at either one of them.
Because you do not want Grant to yell at you like at Jerry Krause. Bingo. Right now, we are seeing Chicago in a matchup 2-1-2 half court. Are we allowed to say zone on an NBA telecast?
You can.
They call it a matchup zone.
Bulls now by 5. They had led by 9 at 11-2. Phoenix Suns coming back playing a little better after their timeout. 6:05 to go in the first quarter of play. 12 on the shot clock for Chicago. Scottie Pippen surprisingly showed up at practice. He's been on the injured list yesterday. Practiced a little with the Bulls and said, I think I'm going to play. Then he came to the shoot-around today, told Phil Jackson he was ready. They took him off the injured list at 5 p.m. today, and Scottie Pippen has started this ball game. Blocked by Oliver Miller.
Great double team that team by Miller. See, right now, Phoenix are trying to get away with switching. And Kevin Johnson has been on Pippen a few times. Oh, nice. Heads up play. Yes, it goes down, but he'll go to the line. See, he's a bright player. When you're taking the ball out of bounds and your man turns his back to you to face out, to help out, put the ball off of his back. Now, just watch what's going to happen here. His man turns it, and he bangs it right off of Marley, and he takes it up. Smart basketball, heads-up play, force Miller to come over and pick up the foul.
Pippen only shooting 59% from the line, has never been a good free throw shooter. The Bulls as a team only shooting slightly above 70%. Both Bulls and Phoenix, two of the worst free throw shooting teams in the NBA.
Now, last year, Pippen shot 66%. Now, this year, in the 2 games that he played, how about the fact that he attempted 15 foul shots per game? Now, in this league, you lead the league, and you're Karl Malone, at 10-plus a game. So he was off to a rousing start before the injury.
16-10 Chicago, 5:47 to go, first quarter of play. AC Green, been a major acquisition for the Phoenix Suns. Barkley back into AC with a lay-in.
Paul Westphal said it today. AC Green always runs to the open spot, and when you're guarding him, you better pay attention. When you're playing with a Barkley, he'll put the ball right to you.
There's the effect of Pippen again. Nice pass from Horace Grant. Scottie Pippen is fouled on the way to the basket. Will go to the free throw line again. And that is the second personal on Oliver Miller. Significant here with 5:27 to go in the first quarter.
I'm really surprised at Pippen's quickness tonight. He is coming from the opposite side of the floor in their half-court offense. Now, you can see he's shooting the ball tentatively. Okay, there's absolutely no confidence. And when you are getting as many foul shot opportunities as he's going to get this year, you've got to come in shooting 78% or better.
He's 1 for 3, 1 for 4 tonight. And the Bulls as a team are 2 for 6. This is the way they've been shooting their free throws. 16-12 Chicago. Inside to Miller.
Nice ball. Anytime that you get trapped, you make the first pass against a good defense, you will not be open. Make the second pass and something good will happen.
Chicago calls a timeout. Phoenix with an athletic group on the floor right now, and they pulled to within 2. They had trailed by 9 early in this quarter.
We'd like to show you that what we said earlier, the Chicago Bulls are in a matchup zone. And what you have here is a 2-1-2. Now, you're going to see B.J. Armstrong come on this trap. Now, once he commits on the trap, everyone else is going to match up. Once the pass goes, we're going to stop it. You're going to see this man comes out. B.J. is late getting to his man going to the basket, and it costs them an easy shot.
Suns have pulled to within 2. Oliver Miller, since he came into the game, 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Big offensive board from Horace Grant, doing what he does best.
One of the best. He averages right at 5 offensive rebounds a game, and we say that's the toughest thing in pro basketball. You must take the physical punishment of your man boxing you out, and then take more punishment when you go to the rebounding.
Pippen on the bench, Kukoc in for Chicago. Barkley backing in, the double team. Green slashing, dipped away by either Kukoc or King. There's the pass from Tony Kukoc doing what he does best. He got the block, he handled the ball, he made the pass.
Now remember, when you put Cartwright or Scott Williams into this mix at the center position, you are going to have a very formidable 5.
Fade away, Barkley misses. 6 rebounds for Horace Grant. Bad pass, behind the back, off the foot of A.C. Green. Chicago wanted the ball, but they're saying, Ken Maurer is saying that it was, or Derek Stafford saying the ball belongs to Phoenix.
Now you can see that the Bulls are doing an excellent job in getting the ball out. This is just a bad decision by Grant. But in all of the previous breaks, the ball is getting out, and they have numbers.
Oh, he buries the 3. Phoenix can toss down some 3s on you. Marley, Kevin Johnson, Danny Ainge, Charles Barkley.
Right now, Dan Marley, 23 for 60.
Barkley with a rebound.
When you get down inside the dotted line, you just cannot throw up that soft stuff. You got to make a commitment and go strong.
A.C. Green got inside of Kukoc. Kukoc had to foul him from behind and give him a 3-point opportunity and a chance to tie this game for the first time since it was tied at 2 with 3:24 to go in the quarter.
Now this young man who's going to the foul line, A.C. Green, you're going to see a heads-up move here. They run no plays for him. He gets everything out of movement. There was a good head fake, got Kukoc on his back for the foul. A.C. Green is averaging 16.8 points and 8 rebounds. But what they love about him is that they never thought that he was as good a defender as he is, and then that he's a great person, and it rubs off. The hustle wears off on the other 4 guys who are on the floor with him.
Bulls hold on. Bulls hold on to that 1-point lead as AC missed the free throw. Free throws have not been a major part of this game. And JoJo English, who has entered the lineup, hits the field goal. You're going to see a lot of players on the Bulls that you don't remember if you haven't seen them earlier this year.
Right there you saw the trap again. The roll guy by Phoenix is open every single time.
Kukoc, he's 6'11", fouled by Marley.
Now right now at 6'11", Kukoc is not noted for his low post posting up, even as a European player. He's a transition guy, a guy who comes off the screen, shoots the 3-point shot. But right now, Marley's giving away quite a bit of size to him. And remember, he is left-handed. And anytime that you're left-handed, you always have that little bit of that offensive edge on the defender.
Good free throw shooter, 75% this year. Just a good all-around player. He just got to think that when this team gets everybody back, Kukoc will then start looking even better. With the pressure on early, he's certainly not performed up to his expectations.
Well, the thing also which is putting doubt in his head is the fact that everyone's taking him off the dribble and beating him to the basket, breaking down his confidence from a defensive standpoint.
Like right now.
Right there you go.
Marley blows by him from the 3-point line.
They had that one a number of ways.
It's a 1-point game. Stacey King, 5 early, gets it to B.J. Armstrong. Dreams the 3-pointer. B.J. has 7.
B.J.'s having a terrific season. He's 11 for 25 and 3s. He's shooting right around 425. Offensively with a lot of confidence. See, this is smart basketball. Just take Kukoc to the top of the circle one-on-one and let everyone go in a 1-2-2 set.
7 rebounds for Grant. That pass was aimed for me, and it was intercepted by B.J. Armstrong.
Well, he thought that you did a strong interview with him today, so he wanted to get you a shot.
And I was open, you know. Armstrong off the curl, tried to hit Grant. Chicago ball. 8 on the shot clock.
Bad pass that time by Armstrong. Grant wide open, going down the middle of the floor. Give the Suns a little bit of credit that time. The triple team on B.J., he could not get the pass through.
5 on the shot clock. left. Beats off the glass, JoJo English. I heard him call the bench up.
Now, JoJo English came from Minnesota for a future second-round draft pick. JoJo was the last player cut here a year ago with the Bulls out of the University of South Carolina. An excellent three-point shooter.
Marley tries to answer. Rebound, A's sticks it back in. 5-point Bulls lead. The Bulls led 11-2. The Suns pulled to within 1, and now the Bulls have rebuilt that lead to 5 with under a minute to go in quarter number 1.
It's a big night for taking care of the defensive boards.
Kukoc misses the layup. Seconds on the shot clock. Ainge open for the 3.
And he ran for the 3.
Barkley will recycle.
8 seconds difference.
Johnson with a jam. Oh, my.
Oh, my is right.
Blows by B.J. Armstrong and stuffs it. I don't remember seeing him do that. He may have, but I haven't seen it.
Well, you know that he's feeling good. See, tonight that's what he told me. The hamstring's not bothering him. His groin is okay. When was the last time Kevin's been able to say that? Good call.
The travel is 30-27. Bulls with 6.4 seconds remaining in the quarter.
They better get to their men. There's plenty of time here. 6.4, especially if you go up front, like right there. You have plenty of time.
Barkley is fouled by Tony Kukoc.
Anytime Charles is in the open floor, he will always cross over. And right there was a perfect example. Charles is one of the best at putting the ball out. Now, first of all, that was a very good foul because they are not shooting.
Horace Grant got him, and that's 2 on Horace.
See, by changing direction, Charles will cross over in front of you, or he'll reverse dribble or go behind his back. It will force the defender to change his stance.
Barkley down inside. This is the reverse. Rebound from Corey Blunt. But more importantly, the second personal foul on Horace Grant. Right before the end of the quarter, the Bulls escaped the first quarter with a 3-point lead over the Suns, 30-27. JoJo English, 5 points off the bench. The Bulls, unusually, for this year anyway, 30 points in the first quarter, thanks to the return of Scottie Pippen and some good balanced scoring, but that has not been the story early this year.
Well, we saying missing Michael, but you also have to put there Pippen missed 10 games, as well as Cartwright has been out, and then Scott Williams and John Paxson. So you look at it, they're 9 points down. The point differential is the biggest place. That's where you miss Michael the most from a defensive standpoint. The field goal percentage shooting is down because all these young kids are having trouble getting high percentage shots in this offense. The foul shooting is horrendous. And then a key. Look at the turnovers. They've gone from number 1 in the league at 13 a game up to almost 18 turnovers a game. Well, if you shoot 50%, that's 2 to 3 field goals.
JoJo English with a pull-up jumper, draws air. We see Green on the run. Ahead to Marley. Good play by English. To Grant. Tony Kukoc, 1-on-3. There are 4 Bulls on the floor right now who were not on last year's championship team. Bill Winnington, English, Steve Kerr from the corner, the excellent shooter, and Tony Kukoc.
What we're seeing tonight is what not has happened so far this year, and that is the guys off the bench are shooting a high percentage. The majority of them are all shooting 45% or under. Not by tonight's standards.
Steve Kerr defending against Kevin Johnson. He'll have a problem there. Winnington defending Mark West, goes out of bounds.
Well, that was a tough pass. I thought Kevin laid that one in there a little bit low, and maybe West should have picked that off, but the ball was down below his knees.
Armstrong with 7 leads the Bulls scorers. Marley has 7 for the Suns. Kerr trying to run Kevin Johnson off the screen. They get the switch.
Well, you better get out on Kerr. He won the three-point shooting percentage-wise in 90. Shot 50%.
Rookie Corey Blunt from JoJo English.
He's a good talent. You're talking 6'11", a shot blocker, rebounder, and he can make that baseline jump shot.
Chicago bench 5 of 8 field goals tonight. Once again, this is how one player can change things. That fouls on one. Pippen comes back and starts. That gives a chance for Kukoc to come off the bench. And when you get a bench performance here, you get fresher legs and more performance. 34-27 Chicago. 10:27 to go first half. West with a major screen, offensive foul.
Well, they're catching him with the elbow. Phoenix already this evening has run the screen and roll at least 8 times. The roll guy has been open anytime that he rolls.
8 times.
Chicago has been late getting to that guy. But you also must look for him. You just cannot continue to go away from the guy, or the guy will not roll with any kind of enthusiasm.
Kukoc for 3. He's been struggling from three-point land. The long rebounds to Kerr. He doesn't struggle. That's a triple.
Now, like you said earlier, Steve Kerr right now is shooting 50%. Okay, and you're saying you know that when he's in the game, he's not going to take it to the basket off the dribble. He's going to be spotting up.
Kevin Johnson missing from the perimeter. Kukoc runs it down. Here's where Kukoc is excellent. In the open floor looking for the pass.
See, this group must get into their offense, what they want, so that the clock does not get away from them.
10 to shoot. Kukoc with the penetration.
That was nice. He's 6'11", and if you notice, Bob, he fades away once he cuts down inside the painted area.
The Bulls have built a 12-point lead. Kukoc keeps it alive. JoJo English, Bulls on the run. Who are these guys? English back to Kukoc. Tried to hit Wennington, who didn't cut all the way to the baseline. Joe Klein enters the game for the Phoenix Suns.
They're trying to make things a little too fine. And right now, your Paul Westphal, you are deeply concerned. You can see that your team is totally out of sync. You are not smooth in your half-court play. There is no transition game to speak of, and the reason is that you cannot get out in the open floor because Chicago continues to score.
Phoenix on a 5-game win streak coming into this game.
But they're soft defensively tonight.
Marley blows by Kukoc again, goes to the left hand, rebound Wennington. Ames broke it up and knocks it out of bounds.
Well, Kerr said my fault, and he's absolutely right. He tried to thread the needle going down the sideline that time. There was absolutely no daylight to complete the pass, and even if the guy did catch it, he would have been out of bounds.
Barkley back into the game as A.C. Green takes a rest. Frankie Johnson also entering the contest for Kevin Johnson. Barkley so far only 1 for 5, only 2 points. And look at this in this quarter, 9-0 Chicago. 12-point lead.
Not happy for JoJo English. He's come in here and he's really shooting the ball well. Now, it has not been the story over the course of the year so far. He's been only shooting 37%, but the talent's there.
Barkley hammers it inside and gets his 4th points of the game. Kukoc spin move inside.
That's where he's at his best. He's at his fortunate. Oh, yeah, he's off the dribble. Very confident offensive player.
The lob into Barkley. He draws the foul.
With this group for the Chicago Bulls on the floor from a defensive standpoint, you must go down inside and challenge these people. There's a great reverse move. You could have caught him for an offensive foul that time because he caught Marley right in the chest to knock him off balance.
You know, you see him standing by Wennington there on that side of the free throw lane. When the camera pulls back there, you see that Kukoc, who can play the guard position, is as tall as Bill Wennington the center.
Oh, he's a legit 6'11". There's no doubt about that. Charles Barkley really struggling tonight. No indication of the year that he's having. Right now, Charles is 2nd in the league in scoring at 26 a game. He's 3rd in rebounds at 13 a game, and he's even 12th in steals at 2 a game. So he is off to a very solid start.
Now, for the first time, Pippen and Kukoc and Grant will play together with English and Kerr in the backcourt. Another thing about Barkley, speaking of that, is Kevin Johnson also comes back in for Phoenix. Charles sat in a chair for much of the shoot-around this morning with Phoenix. You know, he is bothered by his back. How it is affecting him tonight, I don't know. He told me this morning he was okay.
Right now, Phoenix has gone to 4 guards and Charles Barkley. So they're playing Dan Marley as a big forward, and then they're also playing Danny Ainge up front. Ainge is on Kukoc right now. Now, what is Westwall doing? He's trying to shake this team up right now because the other guys are not doing a good job for him.
Scottie Pippen pulls it away. Just came off the injured list at 5 p.m. today. Decided to play.
They'll keep going off the dribble right here.
Marley.
When you go small, you're saying your small guys will do a good job defensively, but when they do get the ball, they'll take you off the dribble to try to break you down.
Bulls by 11. 7:22 to go in the half. Off of that triangle. Grant with the pass to English. Doesn't get the roll. Barkley rebounds. Ainge travels. He was surprised by the excellent defensive decision-making of JoJo English.
Good call, Bob. And you know, he gave Ainge a chance to make the step right there. And you could see that even if they did collide, that would have been an offensive foul on Danny Ainge.
Ainge trying to defend Kukoc.
Oh, he'll go over.
This is the jumper. Out to Kevin Johnson against Kerr. Marley.
The ball's trying to pick up the tempo. But remember, you cannot pick up the tempo unless you defend and hold Chicago now to 1 shot.
Bulls by 9. Kerr open for the jumper. Marley got right in his face very quickly that time.
3-on-1. Nice.
And the foul. And Lewis got there late. It'll be a 3-point opportunity.
For all you people out there who were questioning Paul Westwall's strategy, he's just had 3 transition fast breaks in a minute and a half, and that's 3 more than they had in the entire first quarter.
Phoenix has scored 7 straight points, and Bulls are within 7.
By the Phoenix Suns going to a small team. They're relying on Charles Barkley right here to get every rebound. Now here's the shooter, and you're going to see as Marley runs at him, he runs by him and on the break. And then you have KJ going out here. So once Barkley rebounds, he's looking for the 30-foot pitch out. They are not pitching the ball out 10 or 15 feet. Barkley is looking long. So right now, Phil Johnson knows that he has a problem because they now have had 3-on-1s inside of a minute and a half.
43-36 Bulls, 6:40 remaining in the first half of play. Charles Barkley with 5 points. He's playing a little better since he came off the bench. Started off 1 for 5 tonight. We were questioning whether or not his sore back may be bothering him.
Well, the big thing with that is, Bob, is that you're putting all the pressure on Charles, and many times Paul Westwall will do this to wake Charles up. He's off to a bad shooting start, but let's get him in rebounding and really making things happen.
Kevin Johnson, 9 points, 5 assists early in this ball game.
Now they have AC Green back in the lineup now, and he is matched up with Kukoc.
Armstrong also back for Chicago, down to Horace Grant against Barkley. Bumps Barkley right off the floor and lays it in.
No call. No call, and a good no call, because that was a flop by Charles.
Let's see if Charles backs in on Horace. Pitches to Ainge for 3. Horace Grant has 8 rebounds, and we have 6 minutes to go in the first half.
Nice.
Good pass from Armstrong into Scottie Pippen.
You're right about that. That was eye contact. Pippen went right down and stopped in the middle of the lane on the dotted line, the defender on his back, and BJ delivered the pass.
People in Chicago have been severely critical of Scottie Pippen with his 10 games absence. They say, hey, without Michael there to push him, he's not going to be a tough player. I think it may be one of the reasons Pippen is back off that ankle injury now. The spin move, the pass to Armstrong, the 3.
That's his spot. He loves the corners.
They said he stepped on the line. Give him only 2. Good time, 37 Bulls by 12. Timeout, Phoenix.
I'd like to show you a very smart player right here, Scottie Pippen, with his defender here, AC Green. He'll come down, and then he'll jockey the post up right there on the dotted line and catch his man behind. Right here's the basketball, and you'll see the delivering of the pass. This is beautiful. It's a heads-up play. Now watch how he jockeys, gets Green on his back, and then anytime you have a proven score, he's going to get fouled or he's going to shoot a high percentage shot.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, Hubie Brown and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Scottie Pippen's already got my vote just because he's back.
Very good. And back and looking good.
Yes. 12-point Bulls lead. 5:15 to go, first half. Armstrong defending Kevin Johnson. Rematch. The World Championship titleists from last year. Grant breaks up the pass. Here's Pippen.
There he is. Good steal.
Foul in the backcourt.
Remember, Scottie Pippen, through the 3 championship years, was always ranked in the top 10, along with Michael Jordan, in steals in the league.
Fouls on Danny Ainge. Phil Jackson looks a little more comfortable tonight. Wonder why. If Pippen hadn't come back, think of this. Only 3 of the 12 players on the championship team would have been in uniform. It is only 4. Pippen from long range. Doesn't have his shooting legs, that's for sure. Oh, Johnson with the turnover.
Give B.J. Armstrong credit that time because defensively he moved his feet and cut off the area that Kevin Johnson was trying to get to. Forced him to stop on the dime and try to make the pass.
Phoenix 7 turnovers, 6 in this quarter.
They're totally out of whack. And Paul has done everything to try to get the right combination on the floor.
He's got another combination out there right now.
But if you're going to do it, you must do it defensively.
8 on the shot clock for Chicago. B.J. Armstrong looking for Kukoc.
Nice.
The reverse does not go down, but Grant is there with the offensive board. The tip in. Horace has 6, and he has 9 rebounds.
Or maybe he should go on the back page more often.
Tipped in by Charles. I asked Grant about that picture. I said, what about that picture on the Sun-Times? He says, not a good picture of it.
Remember, we tell you, outside of Dennis Rodman, you have Barkley, Horace Grant, and then A.C. Green.
Kukoc misses the 3 again. We told you already that he's been struggling from three-point land, and he is an excellent three-point shooter. A.C. Green inside over Kukoc.
But remember, he's an excellent three-point shooter in Europe, which is another step closer to the basket.
Horace Grant, pass from Pippen.
He's down hard, hit his right elbow. He is hurting.
Yeah, but that sometimes it's the funny bone, and it kind of like stuns you.
That's the wrong name for that. The funny bone. It's the sad bone.
I just like the tempo, the pace that the Bulls are trying to play at. Now, can they sustain this for the 48 minutes? We don't know. Naturally, the fans are hoping. There's a real strong move, and that was a hard foul. The interpretation comes down now. Are you trying to hurt the player? If the referees think that, they give you 2 shots and the ball on the side.
Didn't see any intention of a flagrant foul call there. They are giving him 2 shots. Of course, he was going to the basket, but I don't see anything about the ball on the side. Ed Rush talking to Charles Barkley.
Now you're going to see. Now, Danny Ainge went right for the arm that time, and that's the smart thing to do. Do not allow the arms to get up above the shoulder. And by that, we're saying if you do not get the arms up above the shoulder, then he cannot take you up and get a possible high percentage shot.
In case you missed our conversation early, Horace Grant, who goes to the line, 3 for 3 for field goals, 6 points, 9 rebounds. And they are calling it flagrant.
That's a flagrant.
Yeah, that surprises me.
And remember, this year, once a player accumulates 6 points for flagrant fouls, you get 1 per flagrant. And once that happens, and you get 6, you're suspended for 1 game.
Does that not surprise you on that call?
I am surprised because I really didn't think that was a flagrant foul. I just thought that was a smart foul.
Grant provided the impetus even to take it to the basket. Nevertheless, that was the call. The Bulls get the 2 free throws from Grant, which is a surprise in its own right, and they'll get the ball on the side.
Now, in the formula for the 6 points, if you get a flagrant foul where they get the 2 shots to ball and you get thrown out of the game, that counts as 2 points against you.
It could affect teams in terms of losing a player for a key game late in the season.
Absolutely.
55-39, Chicago having their way with Phoenix. Nobody would have imagined this. Phoenix on a 5-game streak. The Bulls were 5-7 coming in here. Phoenix ball.
Kukoc is all upset because he thought the ball rolled right through his legs. The ball definitely was kicked by Kevin Johnson. Now watch it as it goes right there, and it goes right through Kukoc's legs. Bowling for dollars.
Bowling for dollars. That's a perfect thing to say here in Chicago. Marley is fouled. I called my niece last night to ask if she wanted to come to the ballgame. She was out bowling. Chicago.
Remember we said earlier about Kukoc, he struggles defensively. Now Dan Marley was on the other side of the floor, and all he did was cut to the basket without the ball, and that was an uncontested line. Now keep an eye on this. We're going to give you the replay. Watch to the top of your screen. Here comes Marley running without the ball. Kukoc left because what he gets caught doing here in the United States is turning his head to find out where the ball is without body contact. And you can turn your head and find out where the ball is as long as you have body contact with that forearm up on the guy so that he cannot run a backdoor on you.
55-42 Bulls, 3:12 to go first half.
Perfect half so far by Chicago. Looking good.
Stacey King and Kukoc. Pippen has 9 points in a surprise start here tonight.
They've been doing a nice job defensively on the dribble, Chicago.
Kevin Johnson got lost in the traffic, found himself open, and hits the J.
If you're a defensive coach and you're thinking you'd rather see the jump shots, they cannot sustain it for a long period of time. So far in this game, they've not been able to do it.
Easy read on Pippen. Fade away from 14, starting to feel it now. Scottie has 11. He's 5 for 8. What a difference he makes.
There's an established scorer dropping the inside shoulder into the defensive player's chest and going away.
Marley hard to the hoop, draws the foul, doesn't get the roll. 2:12 to go in the half.
Thunder Dan is thundering to the hoop tonight. No three-point shots for Dan tonight. He's taking it right to the rim.
Myers called for the foul. Dan Marley has 14 to lead all scorers in this game tonight. One of the reasons he has 14, now 15, is the non-defensive coach. Coming up at halftime on the Reebok Halftime Report, scores and highlights from the action featuring the Celtics and Hawks down in Atlanta. Sonics in Philadelphia, undefeated. See if they're continuing that way. We'll have bonus coverage of some other games. Ernie Johnson has all of that.
Well, Dan Marley's career has really hit the top plateau. He was just picked for the Dream Team. He's also one of the premier. He and Reggie Miller tied last year with 167 made threes. Plus one of the better defenders.
Kevin Johnson fouling B.J. Armstrong from behind.
I like the quick beat tonight of the Chicago Bulls. They're showing something which they have not been able to do all year. The consistency of the break, getting Phoenix into what I call slow foot coverage. They're coming back, but they're not coming back with any type of an intensity to stop the dribbler run.
Well, this is a surprising score. A 14-point Bulls lead with 1:59 to go in the half.
BJ's off to a great start. He's 7th in the league in free throw percentage at 91, and he's 14 in threes shooting right now at 425. He's just having a dynamite year.
Off the turnover, Steve Kerr and Stacey King combined. Bulls will set it back up again. How about this balanced scoring? 9 Bulls have scored, 8 have at least 5 points.
Pippen is feeling it. And any time that a prime-time scorer is feeling it, and he continues to catch the ball from the foul line down, you know that he has the advantage. And he's feeling it, and you know that he's okay physically because he continues to pivot with such quickness, and in the elevation, he keeps catching Marley.
And we actually hit a free throw. The Foul, by the way, was on Frankie Johnson.
I think they could have called that either way. Right? Both guys fouled.
Scottie gets them both. You're right, he's feeling a good rotation. 10 points this quarter. 63-46 Chicago, minute 37 to go in. Beautiful pass by Frankie Johnson. Marley missed the lay-in. Here's Steve Kerr. Pippen looking for the hoop. Kicks it to Armstrong. For three! On their feet in Chicago. Phoenix only 1 of 8 from three-point land. The Bulls 4 of 6. Under a minute to go in the half. An unbelievable 20-point lead. Pippen on fire, misses that one.
The matchup zone, once they get the first trap, definitely confusing Phoenix. And they're ending up with some bad shot selections. The last 3 times down the floor. Poor shot selection. Plenty of time on the shot clock.
Not much action from Oliver Miller this quarter. When he came into the game, he helped Phoenix turn it around. Marley with the offensive board and the putback. And Marley's been the man. He has 18 to lead all scorers. He's about the only one to have scoring success for Phoenix early.
Well, they're in a 1-4 set right now. They'll run the clock down, take the trap. They should give it right back to Pippen, because he has Kevin Johnson on him. Look for him inside. There you go.
He's fouled.
He had him, and as soon as Kevin switched, Kevin Johnson's all upset. But Pippen took him straight to the front of the rim, and now he's relying on unselfish play. Get me the basketball, I have the mismatch. Now just watch this. Pippen goes down inside, pushes off, catches it now, gets fouled. He could have called it either way that time.
Kevin Johnson gets called for a foul this season. The Bulls by 18 with 9.2 seconds to go in the first half. Scottie Pippen has 14 points.
This is an easy game when you bring back the guy who can deliver the passes and then take advantage of the mismatches.
Scottie, I think, as soon as Michael Jordan retired, everybody said, yeah, Pippen, he's only a role player anyway. He has been hurt. I'm only kidding here, somewhat tongue-in-cheek. He misses 10 games just to see what it's like without me, huh?
Not bad. But, give them their due. 9 of the 12 were on the road, and they played a number of close games. In spite of the fact that 7 of the guys were new and they were shooting very poorly.
Kevin Johnson to the knees, back up for the shot, and drew the foul with 1.7 remaining.
Kevin Johnson was possessed. And the reason for that being he's really hot. Because at the other end of the floor, he did not feel that he fouled. Now, he's determined here. See, he's pushing BJ away. He's going to beat the double team and get this shot off.
How about a jump shot from your knees? Not as easy. Of course, he works on that all on the offseason. 68-48, Bulls by 20.
When you say in the NBA that you scored 20 points a game for 3 straight years and average over 10 assists, you're only in a select few of only 6 people in the history of this game that have ever done it. And he did it 3 straight years and missed it another year by less than 1 assist.
Yet still doesn't get really the credit I think he's due. Do you agree?
Well, I think only because in the last 3 years Kevin has had the hamstring problem, then the groin, and then the torn muscle in the stomach.
And Kevin comes up with that as the half comes to a close. The Bulls out by 18 points. Chicago outscores Phoenix 38-23 in the second quarter. Wow.
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok, to remind you that on Planet Reebok, there are no rules.
Man alive, home sweet home for the Chicago Bulls after a 2-5 road trip. They lead the Phoenix Suns 68-50. I'm Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. This is the Reebok Halftime Report. All eyes in the NBA tonight on the Summit in Houston. The Rockets trying to complete a perfect month, trying to make it 14-0 as the Milwaukee Bucks are in town. And let's take a look at the highlights from the Summit. There's that team closing in on the Washington Capitals with 48-49, who won 15 straight to begin the year. Blue Edwards from Milwaukee knocks down the three. The Bucks had a 12-point lead in this one in the first. Hakeem has led the Rockets back, as usual. The hoop and the foul. They have gone to the second period now. Milwaukee, surprisingly, with a 25-24 lead over the Rockets. The other hottest team in the league, the Hawks, take an 8-game winning streak against the Boston Celtics. Kevin Willis, no, but Dominique, yes, and Ed Pinckney just can't quite get there. The finger rolls in. 4-point lead for the Hawks early. D. Brown, a step on Stacey Augmon, and a Jordan-esque move off the glass. He had 20 points in the first half. Look at Sherman Douglas's pass. Just treats that thing like a hot potato and throws it down there, and Brown on the receiving end for another 2. Dominique Wilkins, 20 points in the first half. Stakes Atlanta to a 62-56 halftime lead, and right now the Hawks are cruising. 87-70, 17-point lead over Boston. The Seattle Supersonics won their first 10 games, then lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tonight their road trip continues at Philadelphia. Let's bring you some bonus coverage. Kevin Calabro and Wally Walker are at the Spectrum.
We welcome our national audience now to Philadelphia. TNT bonus coverage along with Wally Walker. I'm Kevin Calabro at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Sonics playing catch-up tonight. Seattle coming in at 10-1 against the Philadelphia team at 4-9. Philadelphia led by as many as 17 points in the second period. They led at half 50-44 as the Sonics made up ground. And finally, the Sonics on a 7-0 burst midway through the period took their first lead since 4-3 at 51-50. Since then, back and forth. The Sonics hitting a free throw, tied it now at 66 all with 1:12 left here in the third period. Nate McMillan looking low to Kemp, lobs it over to Perry. Here comes Moses Malone tumbling over Kemp as he rotates over Wally. The basket will not count. Malone fouls the man-child, Sean Kemp. He'll go to the line.
Nate McMillan is so good at that entry pass from the top. Not much space to get it through. You can see Nate lining it up here. Sean's going to break free, trying to post Moses and use his quickness down low. Actually, it was Perry guarding him, and Moses come over to help, but a little too late for the quickness of Sean Kemp.
No rule of the non-shooter. The first under 2 minutes. Seattle will set it up. McMillan to Askew straight away, 17-footer no. Cage keeps it alive. Perry can't handle it. Jabs it out of bounds. The Sonics will get it with 55 seconds remaining here in this third period of play. A tie ball game at 66. The Sixers shot 71% in the first quarter. Trepp into Kemp, 17-footer with just 1 second ticking off the shot clock. Kemp buries it for 13 points. Sonics had very few shots, 5 of 7 was.
Yes, nice to see him make a jump. The Sonics have struggled with it throughout this ball game. Vincent Askew took it his fifth, and he's over 5 from outside.
There's Weatherspoon, double team, finds the open man. It's Hornacek with a high arcing J. Won't go. Rebound off Cage's hand. Grab by Malone. Leans back, flips it up from 8. No. Perry throws a roundhouse open hand over Schrempf's head. Deflects it out of bounds. George Karl wanted a foul. Instead, he'll get the leather.
How many thousands of times in his NBA career do you think Moses Malone has gotten an offensive rebound and then lowered that right shoulder that we just saw to get his shot off?
About to say that was a flashback to 83 when they won the title here in Philadelphia. 68-66, Sonics by a deuce. 23 seconds remaining in the third.
Moses has always been one of the best in the game at creating space for himself.
McMillan out high, down low to Kemp, has to step on Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon beat him to the end line. Double team by Hornacek, out to McMillan. Here's Schrempf on the wing, starting for the ball. Hornacek, the open man is Cage. He tried to hook it out of a double team. Hornacek strips it away with 5, with 4 across midcourt. Change of pace, dribble over to Spoon with 1. He'll get off the shot. Good if it goes. Volleyed at the buzzer. It comes up short, as do the Sixers. The Sonics rally to take a 2-point lead.
Bonus coverage here on TNT. They go to the fourth with a good one at the Spectrum. The Sonics with a 2-point lead over Philadelphia. And when the Reebok halftime report continues, could be the end of the road for Bill Laimbeer. That story and more highlights still to come. Do not adjust your sets. Bulls 68-50 over the Suns at the break as the Reebok halftime report continues. It is expected that longtime Detroit Piston Bill Laimbeer will announce his retirement tomorrow. And one thing you'd say about this guy, he's never going to win a popularity contest around the league, but he came to play every night. In 13 NBA seasons, he never played fewer than 79 games. A true warrior. Certainly had his detractors, but the end of a long and distinguished at times career will come to an end for Bill Laimbeer tomorrow. He is dressed tonight in Cleveland, where he started his career, and it appears it will end there tonight. Cleveland to the attack early. That's Hot Rod, uncontested through the lane. Detroit rookie Allen Houston inside to Olden Polynice, who's given the Pistons some pretty good minutes early in the season. He had 10 in the first half. Mike Fratello's guys, though, forged a 7-point lead. Gerald Wilkins, John Battle, Gerald Wilkins. Easy 2. They're up by 7 at that point. Now they have stretched that lead out at Richfield. It is 74-56, the Cavs with a fourth period lead over the struggling Pistons. Also, the Portland Trail Blazers opening a 6-game road trip at Miami tonight, and they have an 86-77 lead late in the third period. And the Reebok halftime report continues after this. And welcome back. Before we send you back to Chicago Stadium, let's update that Houston game as they try to make it 14 straight wins. In the second period, it is now 33-31. The Rockets with the lead over the Bucks. And here on TNT, where the Bulls are back home, ready to party. 68-50 over the Suns, the third period just ahead.
The Reebok Halftime Report has been brought to you by Reebok, who reminds you that on Planet Reebok, there are no limits.
Chicago opened up this game with an 11-2 lead. At one time built the lead up to 20 points. They lead it by 18 at the half by a score of 68-50. The surprise news for everybody in Chicago was that Scottie Pippen decided to play in this game. Came off the injured list at 5 o'clock, came out here, and in 15 minutes scored 15 points.
Not only that, I'm kind of amazed when you think about it. They're shooting 57%. They have not been able to shoot well at all year. They've out-rebounded Phoenix by 8. The bench has outscored the Phoenix bench 20-6. JoJo English and Kerr, two guys who have been struggling, get 12 points between them in limited time. And we're seeing Phoenix with slow feet. And you've got to give the Bulls all the credit in the world. Scottie Pippen has really given them a shot in the arm.
Yeah, Phoenix came in here on a 5-game win streak, by the way. They've been playing well, and look at Pippen's addition here, Beauty.
Well, right now, you're going to see that they're going to take it to the basket right now and then kick the ball out to B.J. Armstrong. He's going to hit one of his 2 threes. Now, they are 4 for 6 in threes, the best three-point shooting team in the league. They are 1 for 8 at the other end of the floor. Now, keep an eye on the 2 moves here. Nice cradle. Now watch as he comes up. He switches hands and shoots it with the left. Just a beautiful move.
He should be an all-star.
Yeah. He's got it all together tonight. This is where he pins A.C. Green down in the lane and comes back for that little baby jump hook.
He should be on the dream team.
Well, you're going to see the field goal percentage. And now the Suns, that's not bad, but look at the 58%. They're just a sieve defensively. The three-point field goal shooting, something which the Bulls have not been able to do. They're doing it this evening. And then the rebounding, just fantastic. And that's Horace Grant leading with 9. The bench scoring, we told you that it's 20-6, and it's really JoJo English and Kerr. And when you think about it, where's Oliver Miller on only 6 minutes of play?
We questioned that in the second quarter. He played very well and really helped turn the game around. Look at the balance for Chicago.
Oh, you have to love it. Now, this is something. Now, remember, this is a team that's right at the bottom of the league in shooting percentage. Right now, this year, they are 17th in shooting percentage. They're 25th in free throws. They're 15th in making threes, but not tonight, baby. Tonight, the package is together.
You and I have brought, there's Charles, 7 points, only 3 for 8, had a horrendous start, 1 of 5, and we found Oliver Miller, and after you and I discussed it, we've decided to start him here in the second half.
You know, one thing we should say is the Grant deal. We made an issue at that at the top. Horace Grant has declared that he wants to be traded or let it run out at the end of the year because he definitely will not be here. He's insulted that they've offered him a 6-year contract at $3.5 million a year. He wants $4.5 million. He feels he's the 5th-rated big forward in the league behind Barkley, Malone, Coleman, and Larry Johnson. They're getting outstanding numbers. Now, why is he upset? He's upset not only with the contract, but Jerry Krause made a statement that A.C. Green was a better player than he is. And consequently, he said, if that's the case, and that's how they really feel about it, I want to play someplace else.
Pippen on the run to Stacey King, Bulls by 22 points. Horace Grant, most people think, and would agree, that he's at least the 5th best power forward, and he's 18th in salaries among power forwards. That's where he's going.
Sure, very big point. But he felt the slap in the face. He feels that he's been very pivotal here as one of the three top guys in getting 3 rings. And then A, you do not want to pay me, and then B, you want to downgrade me by comparing me and saying that A.C. Green is a better player.
Pippen with the block.
One columnist here today said it great. Pippen wants more money. He wants more shots. He wants more respect. And he wants it now. I thought that was great.
72-50 Bulls, 10:42 to go. In the third quarter, Chicago came out with an 11-2 lead, built the lead to 22 points. West stands at this moment. 6 on the shot clock down to Horace Grant, defended by the other power forward, A.C. Green. Offensive foul. It's going to be called on B.J. Armstrong. That's his first person. B.J. Armstrong, who still looks as though he's about 14 years old.
He's really stepped up his game. Last year, the tail end of the season, plus the playoffs, he's really matured into a fine player. But most important, the other players on the team respect his offensive game.
B.J.'s 26 years old. Still hard to imagine. Scottie Pippen feeling it. Good pass. King. Green with a rebound. Bulls continue to lead it by 22 points. I keep expecting Phoenix to get on one of those up and down the court offensive explosions. Oliver Miller, who only had 6 minutes in the first half, back in here starting the second half, and gets the field goal.
He said that screen and roll. The screener who sets the screen is open anytime he rolls to the basket. Chicago late all night trying to pick him up.
Barkley blocks Pippen. That'll be a jump ball.
Charles has come out here right now. Now he's fired up. But let's face it, when the other team is shooting 58%, your defense is weak. Not only that, you're not getting to the foul line. Because if you were getting to the foul line, they could not be fast breaking. And the Suns, who usually shoot over 30 a night, have only shot 9.
How about that? Barkley slaps it all the way. Johnson runs it down for the lay-in. That was a very big play by Charles Barkley. He stole the tip.
Well, let's see if they can get it together now defensively. That's what it's going to be all about this half. The big thing with the Bulls is you do not want to change your tempo. I think they can keep it up for 48 minutes, but maybe they'll prove me wrong.
Pippen blows right by A.C. Green. Green not quick enough to defend Scottie Pippen. One of the problems with playing Pippen, of course, is the matchup problem. Is who you're going to put on him to stop it. 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 block. Barkley gets it to fall. Charles, as you pointed out, looks to be more intense this half. Charles has a habit of playing up and down, even within the scope of one game. Gets bored sometimes.
Well, I like the assignment. They have Barkley on Pippen rather than Barkley on Grant.
Boy, A.C. Green really leveled Pete Myers.
Now, the reason why that might have happened was the play before at that end of the floor, when A.C. Green went up for a rebound, he was leveled by King. And when he went down on the floor, you could see he was really hot. So a lot of times a player, when he gets a chance to lay it on somebody, now keep an eye right on A.C. He hit him right with a forearm, and he caught Pete Myers right below the neck. You can see him holding on right there. He caught him with a forearm.
And that's called an elbow foul, by the way. Needs 2 shots for it.
Now remember, if you get hit in the NBA with an elbow, a flying elbow in the head, you are automatically thrown out of the game.
Myers' body English doesn't work. The Bulls 74-56. Among the other things the Bulls have struggled with this year has been their free throw shooting. Just above 70% coming into this game. Myers gets one of them, and the Bulls offer some token full court pressure.
Now, Pete Myers has played on 5 NBA teams. He's been in a lot of cities, but the previous 2 years he was over in Europe and played well. Everyone likes him because he's a legit 6'6", a good defender, and he understands his role.
Kevin Johnson is fouled. By the way, the addition of Scottie Pippen back into this Bulls lineup changes the entire defensive strategy for the Bulls, so they can do so much more with Scottie Pippen in there. He's replaced in the starting lineup by Kukoc, who is frankly a weak defensive player.
Well, last 2 years, Scottie Pippen has been on the first team all defense NBA.
Pippen defending Barkley. Against the other team from Grant, 7 to shoot.
Plenty of time.
He's going to throw it up right in their face. That's Charles. 3-on-1.
Scottie Pippen has 19. Bulls by 21.
If we said transition defense, Phoenix doesn't have any. There's that half-court 2-1-2 matchup again.
Look at that pass.
Pippen to Grant. They're undefeated Chicago. This is the first joy in this town since the Jordan retirement announcement.
We'd like to show you the last play. Kevin Johnson comes up to, he's going to make the pass, and he just throws it right into traffic. And this is where the Bulls are looking good. You have a 4-on-2, and there is your best choice right there. 4-on-3, and how about the look of the coach? He realizes that they are a sieve in transition defense.
West on the floor along with Frankie Johnson, Barkley, A.C. Green, and Marley for Phoenix now, trying to get back in this ballgame, trailing it by 23 points. Marley hard to the hoop.
Bad shot. That was a left-handed throw.
Pippen comes away with it.
Pippen just did a great defensive job on Barkley.
Eye contact between B.J. Armstrong and Myers. The Bulls by 25.
Loose ball foul is going to be called on Chicago on Horace Grant. That's his fourth.
Now this is eye contact. Eye contact right now. Beautiful pass. And then an excellent athlete at 6'6", putting it away. Very surprising tonight with Phoenix. Clearly great offensive rebounding team. Not being able to do anything at all. And that is a terrific tribute to taking care of your defensive board. Phoenix only had 4 offensive rebounds in the entire first half.
Grant sits down with 4 fouls, 12 points, and 9 rebounds. The putback by Mark West.
The trap is definitely causing them problems, Bob. They're having trouble getting the ball to the key guy, and then they are not hitting the open jump shot.
Kukoc hit Armstrong. He was looking, almost missed it. Armstrong from Kukoc. Offensive foul. It is on Tony, his third.
Yeah, and that was a good call. So Eddie was right on it, and he said that he turned and he got it. And he did. And there's no need to do that. Anytime that man is coming off, you just give him the basketball and maintain your screen.
Marley, bullet pass inside to A.C. Green. About 2 seconds too late.
Stacey King, believe it or not, got his hand on that.
Kukoc, ball fake, and the jumper.
Right now, Chicago doing a good job wearing out that guard around play where they hit the flash post and the guard comes off it. Both guys have been getting good opportunities.
Marley lost his footing. Looked like he twisted his ankle, but no. He's back from Frankie Johnson. Marley draws the foul. I think Phoenix is very surprised at how well the Bulls are playing. Let's face it, you look coming in here, you're not expecting Scottie Pippen. Only 3 of the players from the championship team are even dressed for this ballgame.
The reason why we continue to bring out the matchup trapping, that is the surprise, because they have not done that at all in the 12 previous games. And they are releasing a man and trapping, and then they are doing an excellent job in breaking down the next pass for a high percentage shot.
83-60 Chicago, 5:46 to go, third quarter. Phoenix on a 4-game Eastern road trip. They'll be favorites in the other 3 games. What is it, Milwaukee, Detroit, Philly? Maybe New Jersey. Tip in to Scottie Pippen. Back to a 25-point lead.
Now you name it, they're doing it. They're all over the offensive boards. They're great in transition. tonight. When they run their half-court offense, they get high percentage shots.
Frankie Johnson. Scottie Pippen had 15 minutes in the first half. He'll play at least that many, I'm sure, here, unless the game just continues to be a blowout. There's no defense. Barkley just let him alone, and Pippen was open from about 18 and simply couldn't miss it. Inside to AC Green. Doesn't get the reverse. 2 attempts by AC are rejected by the Bulls. All the way. Yes. And the foul. Great move.
The old story, when you go to the basket on the left side of the floor, then you shoot with your left hand and score, especially when you get rocked. And right now you're going to see it. As he takes it to the hole, he puts it in the left hand, and he gets hit hard. But can you have the presence to put it up in the box above the rim with a soft touch?
The answer, yes. Green gets the rebound off the missed free throw.
Bob, he's got to improve on the foul because he's going to be on it all year.
Into Mark West from Frankie Johnson. Bulls by 23. 4:20 to go, third quarter. Scottie Pippen with 23 points in this game. On the injured list until 5 p.m. today. Offensive foul.
Yeah, it's a double screen away. Down there, and a technical foul on Armstrong. Eddie Rush does not want to hear about it because the last 2 fouls that they called on Armstrong has been in Eddie Rush's face. Now, that time they set a double screen on the opposite side of the floor for BJ. They run that when they run that guard around play. And what happened as BJ was coming around, the defender was with him, and that's where the contact happened.
Let's take a look at the Chevrolet scoreboard action tonight. Seattle looks as though they're continuing their unbeaten ways. Portland handing it to...
Seattle got beat the other night, Bob.
Oh, that's right.
They're trying to start a new streak.
Exactly.
They lost in Cleveland.
And I missed that Atlanta score, but I'm sure of yours did. Atlanta on a winning streak also. Pippen.
You name it tonight. Degree of difficulty for Scottie Pippen, not a concern at all. He turned his back, went right into the defensive man, and just threw that ball up. But he's catching great roll back into the rim.
Rebound, Kukoc. He fires. Frankie Johnson into Marley.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen went right to Maurer and catches a right now.
Now, the Bulls call a timeout as the Phoenix Suns have cut the 25-point lead to 20. They'll have a time to regroup here with 3:17 to go in the third quarter.
The reason why everyone is booing is because Scottie Pippen got run over on that last play.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. We'll send you back to Chicago Stadium in just a second. First, let's update you on the 2 teams with the longest winning streaks in the NBA on this final night of November. The Houston Rockets trying to make it 14 straight. A dead heat with the Milwaukee Bucks, 49 apiece at the break at the Summit. And the Atlanta Hawks have made it 9 straight wins. They beat the Boston Celtics 122 to 114 behind Dominique Wilkins' 37 points. Now let's go back to Chicago Stadium.
The Hawks with 9 straight. Thank you, Ernie. 89-69, Bulls by 20, 3:11 remaining in the third quarter. Winnington in for Chicago. Blunt, the rookie, with the rebound.
You must pay attention to him. He's out of the University of Cincinnati, and he has active feet and a terrific leaper.
Scoring 44 to Bill Winnington. 5 seconds on the shot clock. The leader. Rebound, Oliver Miller.
They get it out.
Frankie Johnson is fouled hard by Winnington.
Everyone wants a travel right now. People are up, going, spinning their arms, travel. But you are allowed to take the step, lift your pivot foot. When you lift your pivot foot, as long as you shoot the basketball or pass the basketball, it is not a travel.
Scottie Pippen resting for the Bulls right now. He had 25 points in 24 minutes. 10 points in that third quarter with 2:31 remaining. It's Wennington, Torrey Blunt Armstrong, Tony Kukoc, and Steve Kerr on the floor for the Bulls.
Now, for the 3 previous years, any time that the Bulls would go to the bench, they would leave Scottie Pippen on the floor with that unit or Michael Jordan. Big thing with this group right now, BJ has got to get them into their offense and force them to stay within what they've been doing well all night. And this right here has been good for them.
Oliver Miller almost got his hands on it. Nice shot by B.J. Armstrong.
The guard around has never scored so many field goals as we've seen this evening. There's your trap.
Kevin Johnson to Frankie. Rebound, Torrey Blunt. First of all, a technical on the Chicago bench.
On Phil Jackson. See, Phil Jackson is saying that they stepped out of bounds. And as soon as it happened, look over here to your, you see now, right now, we couldn't see that, but you could see his back foot. His back foot was definitely out of bounds. You can, everyone is there. Now, Mauer on the baseline, the referee is catching it from Phil Jackson. And you say, why is he upset? Mauer, he's upset because on the previous play when Scottie Pippen called a timeout, Frankie Johnson ran right over Scottie Pippen, and it was an offensive foul, and there was no call. So 2 plays in a row. Now Mauer's catches it. There it is right there. You can see he's definitely out of bounds.
Marley hits the technical. It's a 20-point Bulls lead. 1:49 to go third quarter. On the shot clock for Chicago.
Nice. Now Wennington last year was on Nor Bologna, the team that won the Italian championship over Kukoc's team. And Billy Wennington had a terrific season over there. The Bulls have invested in him. He's here and he's doing a very nice job off the bench. As a matter of fact, he had 19 the other night at Houston.
Wennington called for the foul. Kevin Johnson will go to the line, trailing by 22.
Wennington, was at Dallas for 5 years, was a first-round draft choice at Dallas, went to Sacramento. After Sacramento, went overseas and played for 2 years in Italy, and really made a major contribution. He and Della Pasic, the Yugoslavian player, are the 2 main guys that led Nor Bologna to the championship. They defeated Kukoc's team in the championship 3 straight games by over 26 points a game.
Bulls lead at 20. B.J. Armstrong over Kevin. B.J. has 18 and is 7 for 9 from the field. Kevin Johnson answers very quickly.
Kevin has a tendency to do that. Anytime that you make him look bad on a play, he's coming right back at you.
He has 19 tonight. Leads by 20. There's the turnover. It's 2-on-1.
Oh, no.
Nice pass behind the back. Aims to Frankie Johnson.
This second group has got to regroup and understand that they cannot turn it over. They must take high percentage shots. You do not want Phoenix to get it down to 15 or 16 because then they'll get the confidence to maybe make a run at it.
Armstrong with the penetration finger roll. 20 for B.J. Kevin throws up the air ball trying to answer that time, and Armstrong, interestingly, comes up with the ball.
They've been going hard at one another ever since we threw the ball up in the first quarter.
10 on the shot clock.
Right now, there'll be a 7-8 second differential now.
Armstrong penetrates, gets it to Blunt, who is fouled.
Nice pass in traffic that time by B.J. Accepted the double team and dropped the ball off. Now, this young fella right here has got a lot of talent. Now, Nick Van Exel, his teammate at Cincinnati, is starting for the Los Angeles Lakers, a second-round draft pick. Now, this young guy, people kind of forget that Cincinnati, they lost last year in overtime
in the Final 8, the University of North Carolina, and 2 years ago were in the Final 4. Now, Blount and Van Exel were the 2 key performers on that team.
Also struggling from the free throw line. That's 1 out of 2.
You know, there are not very many Bulls that you could say are shooting well on the line.
B.J. Armstrong is the top 10 in the league, and that's it. Kevin Johnson kicks it out to Danny Ainge, who gets the 3 at the buzzer. And the Bulls' lead is back to 18, which is the lead they have to have. It's 98-80. 12 minutes of basketball remaining. Take a look at this scoring by quarters. The Bulls have had 30 or more every quarter, but the Suns coming back a little bit here to trail by 18 with 27, 23, and 30. And we've got more action coming your way this Friday, a doubleheader. This will be a very interesting ball game. David Robinson and Shaquille O'Neal in Game 1, matchup of centers. Then in Game 2, how about this matchup? Dikembe Mutombo and Alonzo Mourning, the 4 young centers of the NBA on Showcasing on TNT on Friday night. Ainge missing from long range. Kerr with a rebound.
At the end of 3 quarters, Chicago shooting 61% to 46 for Phoenix, and then winning the battle of the boards 36 to 26. 10 rebound difference.
Kerr from Kukoc. Rebound Miller. Bulls by 18. Marley with the penetration. He's fouled by Steve Kerr.
Well, Marley's going to get that call. It could have been offense, but you were talking about right now status of the players in the league. That time, I think Kerr felt that Marley definitely came into his chest.
Marley, an opportunity to cut it to 16 points, but just as Phoenix starts to feel good, they look over and see Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant re-entering the game. On the Bulls as Blind Kukoc will go to the bench.
Well, Marley has really struggled from the 3 tonight. He's 1 for 5 in the first half. Now, on November 9th, Dan Marley against the Clippers was 8 for 12. It's leading the league this year for 8 3-pointers made in 1 ball game.
Bulls by 16. They've led by as many as 25 in this game. 11-17 remaining.
Here's that guard around.
Blocked by Miller. That's his 4th block tonight.
I'm surprised Whittington shot that guard because he did not give the guard a chance to come around.
Because nobody in Italy in the European League would get up and block it that way.
Now that's true. A very good statement.
Bulls by 14 as Phoenix making their run here with 10:52 to go in the game.
Oh, they're so explosive. You cannot be averaging 114 a game and be number 1 in this league. That should have been a foul on Kevin Johnson. He definitely entangled with Horace Grant, put him on the floor.
3 to shoot, and Kevin fouls Scottie Pippen.
See, they're upset now. Phoenix is upset. All right, but we just had a foul 4 seconds before. Now we're going to give you the replay. Now watch what happens right here. Kevin Johnson elbows Horace Grant, puts him down. That should have been a foul.
That's a Taekwondo move. This, trust me on this. Okay. Scottie Pippen into some heavy traffic down there with Miller and Marley. Kicks it back out. Phoenix starting to play a little defense now.
Good hustle. Good hustle by everyone concerned.
The Whittington and Ainge.
We have 10.5 minutes to go, and we know that 14 points when you're playing the Suns is never enough. The big thing right now, we said at the top of the show, if you play that style, can you keep up that tempo against a team that wants that tempo? Now it's going to come down to they got that way in the big lead by playing good defense and getting out on the floor.
Whittington over Barkley.
And then the second unit making shots like that.
What a pickup for the Bulls. I mean, with Cartwright hurt, Purdue hurt, Scottie Williams hurt. Kerr with the steal. English, Pippen, English, and the foul.
Good call. Great pass by Scottie Pippen.
contest right now with the referee, Eddie Rush. And he did make the foul. He stripped right there. Now you're going to see the pass to the right to Pippen and the unselfish right back, and Kevin Johnson gets him right there. Sure. He not only got him on top, but he caught him down in his legs.
English misses the free throw. What's new for the Bulls as they continue to struggle from the line tonight, but have scored 102 points already. Kevin Johnson out of control. The Bulls back quickly.
You knew he was going to the hole, and Paul Westphal just came out on the floor to back up his play because Kevin Johnson was fouled at the other end of the floor. Paul Westphal, I've never seen him this excited. Out in the middle of the floor. Now, he was on the floor. That's why Eddie Rush threw him out of the game. He came right out on the floor and challenged that. Now, he's upset because one of his two key players, Kevin Johnson, took that ball strong to the basket and was fouled. He felt he was fouled. Coach, you're going to always back up your guys. You're on the road. And also because he has been in confrontation with two of the referees. But he was fouled. But there's no excuse to be out on the playing floor trying to stop the fast break yourself. Sometimes referees get a little bit annoyed when you do that.
Well, he played for you. You always thought he played a big deal.
Not me. I got Paul Westphal. Paul Westphal was already a very established star in the league.
Scottie Robertson and Lionel Hollins are the men on the bench now. Scottie Robertson, the veteran assistant. Lionel Hollins, of course, the more recent player in the NBA.
Yeah, he just called another technical right now. Maurer just called a technical. And then he just called another technical on Lionel Hollins. Oh, my. See, you hate to see this happen, okay? You really do.
Yeah, it's out of
you can understand Westphal got thrown out. I have no idea what Kevin Johnson said. But he went to a referee that's already called a couple tees already this evening, see? So when he went in his face, he got hit with a tee. And then Lionel Hollins coming out, we have no idea what he said, but he also got hit with a tee.
KJ and Hollins get called for the technicals here. The Bulls are already up by 20, 104-85 with 9.
And he just made another technical foul. Now, see, Kenny Maurer is out of control right now. He's just throwing Kevin Johnson out and also Lionel Hollins. This might be the shortest time period of any coach who is a substitute for a head coach who is thrown out.
Has any time run off the clock? He may have coached no seconds.
Lionel Hollins is saying this is the fastest 250. I never even got thrown out this quick as a player.
He got thrown out at nothing flat. No time elapsed. There he goes into the locker room.
Right now, Kenny Maurer, I'm sorry, all right? I have no idea what was said to him. But sometimes when things get said, you must walk away.
Of course, the crowd here, and by process of elimination, the head coach is Scottie Robertson. Scottie, keep it zipped. We could be down to Joe Prosky.
Well, Scottie's an old college coach and then broke in the NBA with the old New Orleans Jazz as the head coach. Has been a head coach around the league and a assistant for many years.
Now Phoenix, here you go, 5 technicals. Westphal got 1, he was ejected. KJ, because he was called for 2, is ejected. Hollins called for 2, and he's ejected.
See, Kenny Maurer just told Kevin Johnson, don't push me. Whatever Kevin Johnson said in return, cost him the technical.
The Dutch boy in the paint, the Bulls out rebounding the Sun. Charles Barkley struggling tonight with only 9 points and 8 rebounds. Well, 5 technicals called there on Phoenix. Westphal's gone. Kevin Johnson's gone. Lionel Hollins gone. Scottie Robertson is coaching them now. 2 have also been called earlier in this game against Chicago. One on B.J. Armstrong, the other on Phil Jackson.
The most important thing now is the 3 referees grab a hold of this game. That they grab a hold of the game, and we do not have any player popping another player with rough play. Because Phoenix is definitely very frustrated. They're kind of humiliated tonight.
due to the fact that they have played so short.
Barkley is fouled by JoJo English, and we have a three-point opportunity.
Now we're sitting right now on 9 minutes and 22 seconds.
A lot of time.
Plenty of time. Now here you're going to see Barkley go. Now this is just a bad play by JoJo English. He catches Barkley on the back of the foot as well as the arm. You're giving them a chance now to score 5 quick points in less than 5 seconds.
Danny Ainge and B.J. Armstrong in the backcourt exchanging verbal jabs. Keep our eyes on those two. They're not matched up against each other.
Well, we've had 7 technicals, 2 versus the Bulls, and then 5 versus the Phoenix Suns. This has been good for the Bulls all night, down inside with Pippen versus whoever is playing him.
3 to shoot. 2, 1. That's a violation. 8:56 to go in this game. Bob Neal, Hubie Brown with you in a rematch of the championship teams from the 1993 NBA Championship Series. The Bulls leading it here by 18, 106-88. Bulls got great news from Scottie Pippen. He was taken off the injured list at 5 and started this game tonight. They jumped out to an 11-2 lead. Phoenix has never led in this game.
And, of course,
Their coach and assistant, Westfall and Lionel Hollins, both have been ejected, as has Kevin Johnson.
see, I like that call. I like that call. Eddie Rush, the head of the referees here tonight, is not going to allow any body contact right now. And that's what must happen for the next 3 to 4 minutes.
8:30 to go in the game.
Get him holding.
Bulls by 18. Bulls get the offensive board. Miller with the steal. Look at him handle the ball.
Oh, boy. Beautiful play. And great defense by Pippen. He made Marley change that shot.
19-footer from Ainge. It's a 16-point Bulls lead. Phoenix has cut into the once 25-point lead down to 14 at one point. They're on a 6-0 run now after all the technicals.
Oh, here's another one.
Another one. It's going to be a 14-point game. Ainge gets the lay-in.
You hate to say that the technicals have caused the intensity effort that we're seeing here right now. It's also the embarrassment, the total embarrassment that they're getting nailed. Now, there's another step where the guard with the basketball, now B.J. Armstrong definitely has turned his ankle. All right? See, B.J. Armstrong right now, you see he's explaining to the referee that he twisted his ankle. He was dribbling the basketball. He stepped, and there was foot contact and caused a turn right here.
Now Frankie Johnson and Pippen talking to each other. This all got out of control during that plethora of technical fouls that were called. Going to be Bulls ball on the side.
No player is going to back down right now on either side of the floor. You're going to see it right now. There's a body contact. B.J. Armstrong wanted the foul. The foul was called. Okay, B.J. did not think the foul was called. He just saw them pass break.
We'll keep our eyes on Frankie Johnson. Beautiful goal. Pippen rolls it in on the penetration.
What a beautiful move.
27 for Scottie Pippen.
The extension with that left hand, Bob, is just beautiful.
Into Miller from Marley. Couldn't control it. Ainge runs it down. Nice save by Danny. For 3. Oh, do it all, Danny. It's a 13-point Bulls lead with 7 minutes to go. Ainge has the last 7 Phoenix points.
Ainge and Frankie Johnson and Marley on the perimeter people have just done a terrific job.
Pippen is fouled by Ainge.
Yeah, you've got to do that. Oh, they're giving him 2 shots. They're giving him 2 shots. Maurer came in, made the call, and called it a 2-shot foul. All right? And the ball. So what you're getting here right now, a flagrant foul. Now remember, this is Ainge's second flagrant foul. So Ainge is out of the game.
That's right. He's gone.
That's so.
Kevin Johnson and Danny Ainge and Paul Westfall and Lionel Hollins have all been ejected from this game. Ken Mauer is as intense as these players.
Well, you know, it doesn't look like he's going out here now, but this is 2 flagrant fouls.
Yeah, looks like he's not. He's staying. Danny Ainge pleading his case here, and now Mauer listening to Derek Stafford. Maybe they try. Now they've called a flagrant. Pippen shooting. Well, Danny Ainge is staying.
Well, you're going to see Danny Ainge as the player comes down the middle. There it is right there. Now, you can call it either way, depending upon the angle that you're looking at. But Ainge is kind of stunned because he felt that he didn't try to hurt him. He just wanted to make sure that he didn't get the shot up.
He also thought he had been ejected. 110-95 Bulls, 6:41 remaining. Marley from long range misses the 3. Pippen with the rebound. Armstrong. That's a 3. Bulls needed that because Phoenix was coming on.
And the people felt it as soon as it left his hand.
Kerr with the steal, Ainge with the foul. What a wild second half this game has been. Not pretty.
Well, they're just scrapping and hustling. Good hustle this time by Stevie Kerr. Ainge is definitely taking him down. He's not going to allow him to go in for the uncontested layup.
6:11 to go, and Kerr goes to the free throw line. Well, the excitement is back in Chicago Stadium. It's the first excitement they've had here since Michael announced his retirement, because the Bulls, frankly, got off to a very bad start. But the Bulls could pull to within 6, a record of 6 and 7 with this win tonight. By the way, in case you missed it earlier, the Atlanta Hawks have now won 9 in a row behind 37 points for Dominique Wilkins, defeating Boston tonight. Seattle lost to Cleveland the other night. Their unbeaten string ended. Houston is playing tonight. Frankie Johnson scores. Bulls by 18. 6 minutes to go. They may have stemmed the tide.
There's the guard around again.
Pull up from Kerr. Winnington. Nice play.
They've just beaten Phoenix all night, Bob, to every loose ball and any key second shot that they needed in order to sustain holding Phoenix off. Just good hustle by every player who is worn a white shirt tonight. Look at it.
For the break. Pippen off the Winnington miss. Horace Grant, 14 points, 12 rebounds.
We told you at the top of the show, he's averaging 5 offensive rebounds a game, and the only other guy in that kind of a category is a Dennis Rodman.
Pippen with the Ainge miss. Bulls will now pull it out. 5:18 to go, leading by 20. Back in Pippen against Oliver Miller. Miller's quick and steals the ball. Marley pulls up for the 3. He's a good three-point shooter. He's missed his last 2, however.
Well, he's had a tough time all night, Bob. But you're saying it's not in his favor this evening. We told you at halftime he was 1 for 5.
Phoenix has attempted 15 three-pointers tonight. They've hit only 3. Timeout with 4:54 to go, and the Bulls leading it by 20. Bulls by 20, 4:54 to go. Some other scores of interest here tonight in the NBA. Houston, 72-60. Looks like they're on their way to their 14th win here tonight. And Utah in front of Denver at the half, 54-49. The Atlanta Hawks won their 9th in a row tonight. Looking at Eddie Rush, we talked about that flagrant foul situation.
The flagrant foul 1. There's a flagrant foul 1 where they give you 2 shots and the ball on the side.
This is like law
You
school.
can have as many of those until you foul out of the game. If you get a flagrant foul 2, which is
2 shots, the ball on the side, they'd throw you out of the game right on the spot. Now, Danny Ainge also thought he was out of the game, and that's why he was so upset, because he had the 2 flagrants. This is the first game that I have had that, and I'm very sorry that I misled you by thinking that Ainge should have been put out of the game. We called Eddie Rush over, and he explained it to us, and that's my fault. I should have known that.
Yeah, new rule this year. Flagrant foul 1, flagrant foul 2. You have to be very careful to watch the call on that. That's the unsportsmanlike element of the flagrant foul. Like I say, you've got to go to law school to understand all these.
You're going to see, going strong right here. Now, there's another hard foul right there.
Now, that's just a hard foul, not a flagrant.
No. No, I'm telling you, it's complicated. No, the main thing is that when it was called, it puts the pressure on the referee to say it's a flagrant foul 1. Well, a guy can only accumulate 6 points. Now, right now, Danny Ainge already has 2 points towards 6.
Early in the year.
That's right.
He misses a game.
When you get a total of 6, you are automatically fined, and you have to sit out a game, which is a monster amount of money compared to your salary. It's 1/82nd of your salary.
It was Dwayne Cooper taking the shot.
Another 3-pointer. What a night they're having. Now remember, this is the same team that has only averaged 96 points a game this year.
Cooper called for the travel. Chicago 6 of 9 from 3-point range tonight.
You have to love the production, Bob, from the bench. The bench guys have stepped up this evening. Really, in the first half, outscored the Phoenix bench 20-6. And then in the second half, when they lost it, it got down to 13. They rallied and came back. Kerr, Kukoc, Wennington, really doing a terrific job scoring.
Dwayne Cooper, second year out of Southern Cal. Chicago bench tonight, 39 points. Phoenix is over 27.
With a big jam. Make that 41 points.
The Bulls fans really needed this. There's a T-shirt that's been produced by some Chicago fan here, an entrepreneur. You know how they call them Bulls? Well, this T-shirt, since the retirement of Michael Jordan, says Pressed. And that's what they've been here in Chicago.
Nice save by Kukoc.
Kerr stripped it away from Ainge.
Well, that ball was blocked out of his hand.
Inside. Gerard Ristop, who has very little playing time.
You know, he had an excellent exhibition season, Bob. They thought that he was going to make a big contribution. Over in Germany at the McDonald's Open, he had major minutes and was playing at big forward, small forward, and the center position.
That was Dave Johnson keeping that alive. He wears number 8 for the Bulls out of Syracuse, you may recall.
Nice move. Joe Courtney up from the CBA. Last year he made the All-Star team in the CBA. He's 6'9", a very, very live body. He spent some time with Golden State a year ago, and then he also spent time with Phoenix. He's out of Southern Mississippi, but out in '92. This year was a free agent, went back down to Phoenix, did a nice job, and they kept him after the summer.
That was Ristop with the steal from Kukoc. Fouled by Steve Kerr. We were talking about Bulls. Well, they're depressed and disappointed because they've been defeated.
I think we tried to bring that up at the top of the show, though, Bob. 9 of the 12 games are on the road. They played so many close ball games. They've lost 3 by either 2 or 1. 9 of the games, 7 of them out on the West Coast. How many teams have gone through this? No one. They have played the most road games of any team in this league. 9. And you're doing it without Pippen. Cartwright with knees. He's missed 3 games. Then you have Scottie Williams, who's on the injured list. And then you have Will Perdue, breaks his finger last week. You needed Will Perdue. Thank goodness Pippen is back and he gets this kind of an outlay at home because now you're going to be playing quite a few home games.
Kukoc with a block. So now the Bulls are what? Delighted with tonight's game after being depressed. Have you had enough of that? Should I get off that? 126, 105, 153 to go in the ball game. There's Scott Williams. Look at the haircut. I was going to call it a haircut. He had them all cut. All.
Well, Scott Williams has a patella problem. Billy Cartwright just has tendonitis in the knees. We said that Purdue has the broken finger. And then poor Johnny Paxson right there, the hero of the playoffs last year, and then also very instrumental in the 3 rings here, is out with 5 knee operations. And he played in 1 exhibition game, and it took him 11 days to recover from the game. He's just bone on bone in that knee.
Bulls have scored 126. That's a season high for them this year. They haven't been averaging even 100 points a game. Kukoc, that's a 2.
Well, it's nice to see Kukoc hitting the perimeter shot. The first half he struggled. He was 2 for 8.
I think Kukoc will definitely play better coming off the bench and having more time to adjust with Pippen coming back.
Well, it's less pressure. Plus, he'll be playing against second-team guys. And he's not going against that first-team small forward, a guy blessed with all that athletic talent.
You saw his excellent ball handling ability there to pull that dribble away on the attempted steal. Courtney with the rebound.
Courtney's got a lot of talent. He's got a live body, he can hit that jump shot facing. He's got some tools.
Kukoc behind the back. Stolen by Ainge. It's real garbage time now. Cooper behind the back. Corey Blunt all alone.
Look out.
May have a slam dunk competition entrant there. I think we'll send him an application form, Hubie. All-Star Saturday. Corey Blunt. Joe Klein rattles it back in with the help of Gerard Scott. 42 seconds. Bulls have racked up 132 points tonight. They really needed this shot of the arm.
Well, this is a very difficult way to start your road trip. A lack of effort by the majority of the Suns. They could not sustain any form of intensity for any period of time.
The Phoenix Suns will head off to Detroit for their next game. They're going to stay here and practice in Chicago tomorrow. And Paul Westphal told them at the shoot-arounds a day up at DePaul University, if they win tonight, they'd have tomorrow off.
That was a nice shot by Joe Courtney once again, coming in and getting another field goal. The young man really is got some talent, and if he doesn't stick with Phoenix, there are other teams that could use him. Bulls shot 59%, score 132 points to 113 for Phoenix. The Bulls had 5 in double figures, and we're going to talk with Scottie Pippen, who tonight in 30 minutes had 29 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He is our Budweiser player of the game. And Scottie Pippen was on the injured list until 5 p.m. tonight when he came off and went back to practice. As we get Scottie set with his earphone here, Scottie, my first question for you. Let's just try this without fixing it and place it right on his ear there. Scottie, first question, you said you were just hopeful that you were going to be able to have enough wind to play in tonight's game. 30 minutes, 29 points. This had to exceed your greatest expectations.
As BJ said before we came out, he said I was a natural, so I guess my condition pretty much held in for me. I was afraid that after the first 4 minutes, me get to running up and down, I would probably lose my condition, but I was able to maintain.
What caused you to make the decision to get back in prematurely? A lot of people thought it'd be a couple more weeks.
Well, I kind of made the decision upon myself. I felt like over the time with the teams on the West Coast that my rehab was going well and the pain was going away for me. So a lot of the soreness went away, and I felt like that, you know, I was pretty much pain-free and where I wanted to be when I go back on the court.
Scottie, let's look at the team right now. Tonight, this is just a magnificent performance. You had it all. You had the transition and everything else. And naturally, you're the center of attraction. You're handling the basketball. Where do you see this team going?
Well, I think basically what we got to do is put some spurts together. We haven't been able to play consistent. And once we start playing at a consistent level, we'll be a good ball team. But up until that point, we got to get these other guys worked in where we can play like this every night.
Scottie, let me ask you a personal question. A lot of pressure on you with Michael's retirement. You play the first 2 games, you come back early from your ankle surgery, and somebody steps on your foot in practice. And a lot of people in Chicago are going, well, can Scottie handle this pressure? How do you feel about having to step in and becoming the man here?
I don't look at it upon myself to have any pressure added upon me. I think what I've did to this ball club over the last 2 years without Michael has made us a better ball team. And I think with my presence out on the court, that's all I want to do. I want to be able to make my presence a weapon out on the court, whether it's getting assists, rebounding, or scoring, or whatever. I think guys like BJ and Horace and myself know that we're going to have to step up.
Scottie, let's talk about the Horace thing. Just one quick statement. Everyone is trying to say that it's going to break down the morale of the team. Horace Grant fighting, saying that he should be paid the money, or he's going to walk. He definitely wants to play in another city. He's been insulted because the general manager here says that AC Green is a better talent. Now, how do the players feel? Now this is a tough spot. Come on, you're the head guy now.
I'm a very close friend of Horace's, and I know whatever Horace say off the court, that once he bring it on the basketball court, he's a different person. And that's all I respect of him. Whatever's going on between him and negotiation and with the organization, as long as he don't bring them to the court with him, I think the relationship with the team, with the players, will be fine.
Well, that's great.
Listen, all our advertisers particularly appreciate your coming back tonight and boosting our ratings on this TNT Phoenix rematch, Scottie. We'll have a check in the mail.
All right. Thanks. It was a big win for us.
Nice to have you back. I'll tell you, you were everywhere tonight, my man.
Thanks.
Our Budweiser player of the game. 30 minutes, 29 points for Scottie Pippen to go with 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and a tremendous performance. We'll be back here to wrap it up in just a moment from Chicago.
Ernie Johnson back at you from Atlanta. The Bulls winners by 19 over the Phoenix Suns, one of 8 games on the schedule tonight. Let's take a look at the Houston Rockets, trying for their 14th straight win tonight and trying for a perfect month of November. Rudy T's guys in a dogfight at home, though, against Milwaukee. Tied up 49-49 at the break. Watch Robert Horry go to work. Misses, and Akeem. Yeah, it's going to go for him. 63-57 Rockets, and then off the Vernon Maxwell miss. Horry with authority. And you got to like that little shake and bake. 82-76 is the count. They are about 8 minutes to go in the 4th period at the Summit. Seattle Supersonics, George Karl's guys lost in Cleveland the other night. They get it back on track tonight at Philadelphia. So they're down 64-63 late in the 3rd. Sean Kemp gives them a 1-point lead. The Sixers scored 14 points in the 4th period. Seattle put it away. Kemp again, the left stuff. 19 points, 15 boards, and another Sonic victory. They are 11-1, 92-80 over the Sixers. The Atlanta Hawks, Lenny Wilkins' guys, have now won 9 straight. They're unbeaten at home, a perfect 7-0. They have Dominique Wilkins to thank for that. Matched his season high with 37. Nice little spin. And got the tongue wagging tonight. 122-114, the Hawks over the Celtics. The Detroit Pistons and Cleveland Cavaliers at Richfield Coliseum. Terrell Brandon to Tyrone Hill, who led him with 18 points on the night. Bill Laimbeer, expected to announce his retirement tomorrow after 13-plus seasons in the league, walks off the court for the last time. 92-74, the Cavs over the Pistons, who have lost 4 straight. Elsewhere, Portland, a 123-109 winner over the Miami Heat down at Miami Arena tonight. In the 3rd period, Utah with a 54-49 lead over Denver. Karl Malone, the mailman, 19 points in the 1st half. And just about to start, the Dallas Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors. And it says Chris Webber is out with an ankle injury day-to-day, but we are just told that he has been listed in the probable starting lineup for the Golden State Warriors. Here on TNT, 132-113 Chicago over Phoenix. We'll send you back to Bob Neal and Hubie Brown, assuming they haven't been tossed, in just a minute.
Well, if you're just dialing in, you missed a good one. The Bulls got Scottie Pippen back. There were 5 technicals called against the Phoenix Suns tonight. 2 of their 3 coaches were ejected, along with Kevin Johnson. Scottie Pippen came off the injured list at 5 p.m., came out here, didn't even know if he was going to start, decided to start, told Phil Jackson he could go, gets 30 minutes, 29 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. Barkley not in the game from beginning to end, only 13 points. Bulls great balance. 10 players with 6 or more points. How about that one? And Chicago had been shooting like, what, 43% on the road, 45%. They come in tonight here and shoot 59%. Of the Bulls go to 6-7, and Phoenix gets into a tough start for the road trip. Be sure to stay with TNT as NBA action continues Friday at 8 Eastern Time. San Antonio and Orlando, Robinson and Shaquille, Charlotte and Denver, Morning and Mutombo. The Battle of the Centers coming up next on TNT. A Fire in the Sky, starring Richard Crenna. For Hubie Brown, this is Bob Neal saying good night from Chicago.
Once again, a press conference is expected on Wednesday in Detroit. Lambeer is the all-time games played leader for the Pistons. For the first time since they staved off elimination there last spring, the Phoenix Suns visited Chicago Stadium. And Scottie Pippen, for the first time since Game 2, back in the lineup and in the starting lineup. Tendonitis in his right ankle. Would it bother him? He looks fresh. Driving around, Dan Marley going off. The Bulls up by 7 early. Kevin Johnson squirts right down the lane, jams it home. It's a 3-point game as we go to the second quarter. Then Pippen to BJ from the corner. Bulls are blowing it open by 18 at the break. With the Suns stage a second-half rally, they disappeared. Pippen right down the gut. He had 11 of 18, scores 29 points this season high, adds 11 rebounds. Check that out. He had a half a dozen assists. Grant with the slam. Bulls by 23. Everyone involved, including the new airman. Pete Myers from Armstrong. Bulls with a huge bulge by 25, and then it all came unraveled. Paul Westphal double technical. Kevin Johnson double technical. This all in the same spree. Lionel Hollins going to lead the team to Scottie Robertson, and it didn't get any better. The Bulls crushed Phoenix 132-113, and the crowd was on their feet throughout. It's the first time they played at home in 17 days after going 2-5 on their longest road trip of the year. It snapped the Suns' 5-game winning streak. And it starts off their 4-game road trip, which will win them through Detroit, New Jersey, and Milwaukee by Sunday. In the stadium tonight, only 4 players who participated in last year's final were in uniform. Finally, Pippen was back, but Paxson, who put the nail in the coffin with that 3-pointer against the Suns, is still out. Cartwright's tendonitis acted up again. He wasn't in the lineup. Scottie Williams won't be back till January, and Purdue could miss as much as another month.